Australian sheep and sheep meat are highly regarded in the Middle East, where lamb and mutton are an important part of the culture as well as menus, as we've heard on a few occasions today. So we're delighted to have some experts on hand to talk us through the different cuts and dishes before we have lunch and enjoy some of those popular dishes for lunch. So Sam Burke is MLA's corporate chef, travelling the country and the world, talking to other chefs about developing innovative concepts and make the most of every cut of meat, reducing waste and making sure that modern consumer demands are met. So he's joined today by Ramirez. He's a meat specialist who consults the meat industry, providing training right around the world, and is an expert with the knives. Today, they're going to be breaking down a carcass here for you all to see. Joining them is Naglaa Elkott, all the way from the Middle East. Welcome, Naglaa. And she's Chief Executive Chef at Mawashi, which has been one of Australia's biggest importers of live sheep for many decades. Naglaa specialises in creating classic and modern Arabic dishes, and will talk us through some of the favourites. So, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, guys. Just 2 minutes.
Yep, just got to get.
Can we get mic'd up? We got the.
No, just a hand raise. That'd be all right.
If we could have a Madonna mic for Raf, because he's going to be butchering, did they? Or all this
I don't think so.
Yeah, all good. We'll work it out. Yeah, that's fine. We'll make it work. All right. Thanks, Terry. All right, good afternoon. Good morning. I'm in Perth. Good afternoon. My name's Sam Burke. I've just got introduced by Terry there. And we've got Chef Naglaa. Come on, come forward, Chef. We're going to have some fun here today. And we've got our master butcher, Rafael Ramirez. And we're really excited to be here today because we're going to talk a bit about what happens to this wonderful Australian lamb via live export when it gets to one of the most important markets, the MENA market, which has a good presence. We've all got something to do with the MENA market over the years, and we've got a professional here. Chef Naglaa works for Mawashi. Mawashi, we'll get you a mic, my friend. Yeah. Oh, there you go, Rafa. You got a Madonna mic. They're going to hook you up. Yeah, and this one is out of service. Oh, out of surface. Okay. So Mawashi retail group, 10 supermarkets across Dubai, and also 2 restaurants. Chef, it's a pleasure to be here. Round of applause. Let's make it feel welcome.
My name is Chef Naglaa Elkott, Egyptian chef, 15 years Arabic food for Mawashi, 5 years. Mawashi 10 butchery and 2 restaurant. Have dish for Mawashi, 1,000 for 1 day, 1,000 dish every day, 1,000 dish every day. For restaurant, maximum all dish for Arabic food, kabsa, mansaf, bukhari, all dish Arabic food I make for restaurant Mawashi. Thank you.
What a legend. So 1,000 chefs, 1,000 covers a day, 25 chefs, 10 retail supermarkets, 2 restaurants, and is a true master in Middle East cuisine. I've got your dishes here today that I'm going to talk to just via notes here. But what we're going to do, Naglaa, is we're going to work with Rafael Ramirez. Rafael, I've worked with Rafa now for the good part of 12 years. He's a master butcher. He's just been over in the Middle East working with live export customers, earlier this year. And myself, I have been in the Middle East in 23 and 22 doing some work over there. So we're all been in market. We work with legends like Naglaa to really get immersed in and see what they're doing and take some of those trends back here to the domestic market too. So we'll go through our cuts to cuisine presentation, which is quite pictorial, and it talks about the cuts as we move down the carcass, which Butcher Rafael has done. We've got 2 lambs here. We've got one that's pre-butchered in an artisanal fashion, and he's going to be breaking one down as well. And we're going to talk through these dishes with some passion and love and get you immersed on what happens to your wonderful product when it goes to these different regions and how it's influenced back here in the domestic market. So away we go. That's who we are. No need to see that. And then we go straight on to the forequarter, Rafa. So, mate, welcome. We know you're no stranger to Masterpiece Butchery. You've done a wonderful presentation here today. Talk us about the forequarter of the lamb.
Yeah, sure, Sammy. So let's quickly just run through the shoulders. We know the amount of work a shoulders do on a lamb. So we really start to understand cut by cook methods. And I've got a bit of a philosophy around cuts of meat is I don't like the words secondary. So when you talk about a shoulder cut and you refer it as a secondary, I think we automatically denote what the value of that carcass is. So shoulders to me is one of the most exciting cuts, Sam, and we've been working right across, globally across the markets around extracting further value. So the only way we can extract further value is stop calling things secondary. In my personal opinion, every cut is as good as another one, as long as we understand the cut by cooking methodology. So I'm going to get into breaking that lamb down, Sam. Quickly.
Do that, mate, and I'll get on to the first dish. So this is something that I'm very proud about. If you have a look at the shoulder here up on the screen, we opened up an outlet at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in 2023. It was only supposed to be for 12 months. It's now going into its 4th year. We know that Australian lamb brings people together. And we've got a lovely multicultural society, right? Now, these are the modern Australians that are enjoying our products. So we need to make sure that lamb makes sense to those guys. So you'll see there's a little bit of Eastern adaptation of a late night lamb shawarma there in the tortilla on the picture. Some loaded lamb fries, like that's your halal snack pack if you like. And then there's a Aussie lamb burger. So that's something that, when we work in these markets, we get influenced by the cuisine and then we bring it back here and we adapt it here in the Australian market as well. Lamb arrosticini we're seeing Italian food a lot in the Middle Eastern market, That's from northern Italy. Wonderful skewers, traditionally from the shoulder as well. And they also do this lamb like this, very similar in the Middle East markets, just over flaming charcoals, right? So season it with salt, pepper, serve it with zesty salads like fattoush, and then eat straight off the charcoal. That's what they do. The lamb shoulder, they like a bit of chew in it, and they like it well done. I can talk with authority because my wife is actually from a Middle Eastern background, so we eat a lot of this kind of lamb at home, and it's the way I've come to enjoy lamb. It doesn't always have to be medium rare at 54 degrees, Rafa and Naglaa. It can be cooked in these markets to well done and enjoyed with some fresh sea salt, zesty fattoush salad, chef, tabbouleh, khubz, which is Arabic bread, tum, which is garlic sauce, and then just enjoyed. We're talking about laham over the faham, over the fire. I was speaking a bit of Arabic here. I've learned after being married 25 years, but I know Arabic as good as cooking chicken as the MLA chef, so be patient with me there. All right, and then we go into a lamb tortilla there, from Indian background there, and we're served with the mince Naglaa. If you have a look up at that image up there, and we've just braised that mince in kind of a curry sauce and then served that with a rayata and some sides. Once again, looking at whole carcass utilisation, shoulder works fantastic with there. Because it's got a lot of fattiness in the mince, and that tastes really good. And I'll go straight, there's another lamb shoulder, but I'll go straight to your dish, my friend. Talk to us a bit about this wonderful chef. This is the kabsa from Saudi. Talk to me a bit about that dish.
This lamb kabsa Saudi dish. This lamb kabsa I make lamb boiling and make after 1 hour cooking the 17% lamb. After I give both all lamb and rice and vegetable and spicy one pot. After 13 minutes cooking the rice and the lamb, put it for one dish, only one dish, big dish. All Saudi eat kabsa for 1 week, for any event, for 1 week, Friday, make kabsa every week. 1 day for all family. All family for family eat together. All family together for 1 week for kabsa Saudi. Okay. I put it spicy, black pepper, salt, turmeric.
So what, and I don't mind, you can all hear me in here, so what I really like the way that she's presented this meal, it's a family dish, Middle Eastern cuisine, there's a big plate that goes in the middle. No, I'm allowed.
Okay.
No, you can have the mic. There's a big plate that goes in the middle, wonderful sides and salads and accompaniments served, and they really concentrate on the lamb shoulder. They braise it slowly. They pull the scapula bone out and the forequarter shank out. She's actually left it in that dish there as a garnish. So shanks usually attached to the shoulder when they're slow braising it. And then we serve it with some almonds and rice and
vegetable.
vegetables.
Vegetable.
Tomato in the lamb when you braise it. Sure.
For lamb shank, too much softy for kabsa. Coming for any restaurant, you like lamb shank for kabsa, coming softy. All customer Arabic, you like shank. For any kabsa, for mansa, for anyway Arabic food, all customer call me, I need lamb shank. Yani too much customer you like lamb shank for kabsa, any Arabic food, lamb shank, too much.
So Rafa, you've pulled the shoulder here at the front here on this artisanal board. Thank you, Naglaa. Isn't she doing great? Give her a round of applause. Let's get her some encouragement. Very hard to come here and talk in front of people, but I think you're doing an amazing job, and I'm really passionate about the food that you're doing here today. So Rafa, we look at the shoulder here. This is very similar to what Chef Naglaa was referring to. Shank on, forequarter shoulder. You've scored it there. How popular was that when you worked in the Middle East market earlier in the year?
Yeah, not only in the Middle East, but we're sort of seeing that shoulders are becoming these centre plates. So, I mean, there's nothing more sexier than when you drop that in the middle of the plate. You've cooked it for 12 hours and you drop some forks in it and everyone just rips it apart. So we're getting back to that really, dialing some tenderness like that. So those lamb banjos are becoming really, really popular, and that's a shank-on version. And then we're doing, these sorts of from a square cut, we're taking out the rib cage, and we've got the banjo shank off with the oyster cut, or with a neck fillet on there, so we can get these oyster cuts. So they've become really, really popular. And then the offshoot of that is you end up with these beautiful little neck fillets. And why they're called neck fillets, we've got Sammy, if you want to.
Yep. So the neck's at the front here.
Yeah. So
he's got it here, and then he's cut it into small portions, and we've actually seen a chef, a Middle Eastern chef. Chef Naglaa in Sydney called Faraj, and he actually slow braises this neck in a combi oven at about 130 degrees. So a combi oven injects steam into the process as well as roasting it. Perfect for cuts like this. And then he pulls the neck bone out, and then he puts it in khubz, Arabic bread with salad, and then it collapses in that bread, and then serves it with some wonderful Middle Eastern sides, and it's his signature menu. So these trends that Chef is doing over the Middle East with your wonderful product actually come back to Australia in what we call third culture cuisine. So that's Australian chefs putting their own little tinge on it, being inspired by the Middle Eastern masters, you know what I mean, which is what we've got here, like Chef Naglaa. So fantastic dish. I'll move on to the neck, which I think we've covered there. There's another dish. You want to talk to us about this one, Chef?
Bukhari rice.
Bukhari rice.
This is Bukhari rice for Emirates, Emirat. This is Khaligi. This is a dish Khaligi. This for neck. This make for neck. You like the neck for this dish. This is the dish for all. Also, I make a steam. Not boiling. I put it for the oven 2 hours. After 2 hours, I make the rice. Make the rice for one pot. After cooking the rice 13 minutes also, I put it this for one dish for also this family for 1 week for الإمارات أو السعودية أو سوريا all the like for this the dish. This is the dish for I put it rice and basmati rice and vegetable carrot and onion and also smoke. This is a smoke rice. After finish the rice, I make a smoke.
So sheep meat is really, really important. It's kind of like a dish that's very well respected in this culture. And not only lamb, you know, mutton as well, you know, makes its way into these types of cuisines. It eats well. It's got a stronger, gamier taste. What Chef was referring to there, just elaborating again, 2 hours slow cooked, and then she cooks the rice for 30 minutes and then presents it. And then you could probably serve that with labneh if you want, some yogurt on the side, Chef, and some salads.
This it for fattoush salad and the yogurt with cucumber. Yes.
So you've got the citric hit of the fattoush, which is salad that's got
Ye-
cucumber, bread, tomato, sumac.
No, لا sumac for fattoush, chef.
Yeah, in the fattoush. Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic there. And then there's a little dish that I did with a commercial pub through our summer land campaign, focusing on braised shoulder, and that's just a gnocchi for watermelon radish salad. You know, so once again, the beautiful things about these cuts, you can actually pre-braise them overnight, have them sitting in a hot box at temperature, and then quickly prepare them as a fresh meal for the customer. Because when you're grilling product, there's elements of cooking the product and then resting the product. So what we encourage food services to always have some of these braised cuts on the menu because you can hold them at an optimum temperature. They incorporate into a wealth of different types of cuisines, and it takes the pressure off service, if you like, you know, for the chef. So when we work, Chef Naglaa, on dishes like this, and you do a lot of ready retail meals, they've got to hold in the supermarket at 75 degrees Celsius and above to be food safe. These wonderful dishes do that well without drying out. You know what I mean? So you've always got to think about your customer, the price you're selling it at, the way you present it, and the way you keep it at a food safe temperature that can be enjoyed by the end consumer. Rack and loin. Now we know you've got a dish there from the rack and loin. We'll go straight to that, Chef. You've got mid-loin chops here, and it looks like, is that kusa underneath there, Chef?
This is stuffed marrow. You all people like stuffed marrow. All Arab stuffed marrow and lamb chops. Yes. This is stuffed marrow, meat, inside meat and the rice. Okay. And this lamb chops, this make down for marrow. I cook in for all one pot, lamb chops and marrow. بعدين cook in 2 hours. After finish, I make this presentation.
So, Chef, is the marrow inside the zucchini? You stuff the marrow in the zucchini?
Yeah, it's zucchini. This is zucchini.
Yeah. So fantastic. You've got the zucchini at the bottom there with the marrow stuffed in it, and then the lamb wrap chops on the front that are grilled. Once again, big family serves, often served in banqueting and also served in retail in these markets. You know, really encourage Australian land to be enjoyed.
This too much sales, chef. Too much for sale for stuff
A lot
more.
of preparation.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of mise en place is what our chefs call preparation. A lot of preparation goes into this. You've got to stuff each one of those Lebanese zucchinis, right, and then braise it and then serve the meat on the top. So traditional Middle Eastern cuisine does take time. It's very labour intensive, but it's really enjoyed when the customer eats it.
Yes.
They really have a lot of respect for the work that's gone into that dish.
Yes.
Yeah, so rack and loin over to you, Rafael. What do we got here, mate? You've got a nice variety that you're bringing up here.
Yeah.
Also refer to it here on the board.
Absolutely. I suppose if we go back and think about lamb, it's you know, lamb racks, right? Everyone wants a lamb cutlet. We're famous for it. We're an amazing product. I suppose what it has done is, as it drives value and 70% of the carcass value comes out of the loin, is we start to see it falling off menus because it starts to break price points. And while that's a great thing, we still got to look at opportunities how to keep cuts on menus. So we're starting to see things like with racks, instead of once upon a time being a 4-point rack, maybe they're a 2-point rack of lamb with something like with a mix of shoulder. So you've got this firm texture, soft texture starting to come into kitchens, and you start dialing in some food cost platings around doing that. So that's been real fun working with chefs around, you know, how do we keep lamb on menu? And we want lamb to be expensive, right? We want to generate as much profit that we can, all the way from the producer, all the way through the end, but we also need to be in line with keeping it on market. So racks, I suppose one of the other things we've seen being a little bit alternative, we've all seen, I suppose, tomahawks come out of beef. Seen a few chefs muck around and do a version of a lamb cutlet where you're just driving that. So that's a double lamb cutlet, and you start to see that driving a real big sort of centre plate presence.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, Rafa. If you have a look at the image that's portraying there, that's Six Head here in Perth. They've also got one in Sydney. MLA worked closely with that restaurant, you know, on a double tomahawk rack, if you like, to be served as part of an Australian lamb special during the summer lamb period. Served a salsa roja and jus there, and did some torn mint on top. So we're really looking at ways to elevate, I guess, red meat beyond the cutlet, if you like, Rafa.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I think it's an amazing product, and I suppose we never want to stop those cuts. We just want to implement new cuts to penetrate menus. But, you know, I think that's great centre plates. You know, I like the big thing I've sort of seen in food service is how do you make a centre plate? It's more shared plates, it's more those types of things. So while we still do a la carte, this centre plate creates this really big opportunity around doing that. And some of these big cuts are doing that. And of course, that's those beautiful lamb racks. So I suppose just a bit of a point around lamb racks is by the time you drive it all the way back to that, I'll lose something like 60 to 65%. So I ask you to be a little bit, I suppose, in mind when you see a lamb rack or a lamb cutlet at $60 a kilo. It's because it's driven through yield loss. So, I mean, I can, you know, obviously leaving all that fat on the top, like a tomahawk, becomes a cheaper way of being able to do that versus driving it all the way down that. And that's based around what consumers are chasing. So if they want to pay $60 a kilo or $70 a kilo, let's let them.
That's the reason why, and the consumer just needs to be educated that it's a premium product, and a lot of butchery and yield loss happens to make that product. You know?
Yeah.
Talk to us a bit of what, just quickly on the screen there, we've got some midloin chops, which precedes the rack. You know, we've done it for Rogan, Josh Shawson, and toasted pitta. That was some recipes I did for chefs over COVID on how to go beyond just grilling the midloin chops or having a saddle on menu, you know. There's another dish we did with Six Head, just highlighting the rack there with some torn asparagus and caramelised Brussels sprouts. And then if you look at the loin there, we also did a salad, Naglaa, if you have a look there, which has got a bit of a Middle Eastern influence there with some fresh pomegranate, you know, kind of like a parsley and lemon salad, chef. And then we've put some kumra through it as well, like sweet potato. This dish I did after being inspired by wonderful chefs like yourself, you know. So we look at what you're doing, we take away the methods, and then we adopt them into dishes. We Australianise it, if you like. So I'm really excited to see your dishes because I learn from them, you know. And then hopefully you might take some information away on the way that we do Aussie lamb and spread that love back to the Middle East. Yeah. All right, chef, ribs, you've just shown that. Yeah, we've shown that. That's the same dish, and you used it with the ribs as well?
Yeah, you have some blade for lamb chops and lamb rack.
Yeah.
Yes, same dish.
The same dish,
Yeah.
incorporating both the ribs and the rack. Lamb ribs as well has become a real favourite. That's a promotion that we've done with ALH hotels across Australia, Australia's biggest hotel group, 400 across Australia. That was a little Korean lamb rib. Why do you always have to have buffalo chicken wings at the pub when you're watching the football? why can't you have gochujang lamb ribs? You know, so that's where we look at taking other proteins off that are affordable and make sense to food service to have success with. They can be braised, cut down the intercostal, and then warmed quickly, hotly in the oven, or flash fried in a pan, and then served as little riblets there for consumers to enjoy. And another version that I had influence from the Middle East, I've got a fattoush salad there. Chef, I did a pomegranate molasses, and then some baba ganoush, and then I did some lamb ribs, and then a little segment of lemon on the side. Once again, my wife influenced these kind of flavours, and then I put my own third culture cuisine spin on it, you know, focusing on fattoush. So you've got to understand, cuisine is global, and we learn from each other, and chefs put their own, touches, if you like, on products, and that's how we learn and keep on pushing our wonderful proteins on menu. There's a takeaway version too. And then we get to the chump. So this is lamb rump, chef.
He's got me under the pump.
Rump.
Yeah, I'll go straight to your dish. It's just some examples that I do. Oh, we haven't got an example there. How do you use lamb rump on your menu?
This rump for barbecue, I tikka barbecue. This for grill. And for Arabic dish also for what name?
Shawarma?
No, not shawarma. Photo. Kufta.
Kofta?
Kufta and tikka. Yeah, lamb kufta and tikka.
Yeah, so tikka and kofta. So there's an example of a Turkish version, Chef Naglaa, using that cut there. So
This make for Arabic food and
that's
onion.
Adana.
Yeah, onion and
Sumac.
black pepper and salt. Only lamb kofta for Arabic food, black pepper and salt. This is Australian lamb for very, very tasty for only spicy, black pepper and salt. Only spicy, black pepper and salt. Only.
And you love our lamb because it's got a lot of fat in it, and when the fat jumps onto the coals, the smell from the faham come up and add extra flavour. The smoke in the lamb adds extra flavour. You know, so faham is a barbecue with coals and fire. Sorry, yeah. So there's a dish that we did with hogs ref around Australia. Why does it always have to be, chicken? You know, we've got beef on there. Why can't we do a lamb rump with wonderful carrots and a salad version? Further. So it's looking at ways to take other proteins off the menu to complement Australian beef. There's another dish that we've done there with lamb rump, just cooked on the grill or roasted to an internal temperature of about 54 degrees Celsius. Then we cut it across the grain, and we served it there for Paris mash and some snow pea tendrils. And it just eats wonderfully on the menu. It presents well, and it's great for functions as well. Not only for main course, but for entrees. So, it's how to, I guess when I was a young chef, you had chump chops, right, which were fantastic. But now, as a centre of plate, you just heard Rafa saying racks being upwards of $5 each in the domestic market. I'm not sure what they cost overseas. How do we keep lamb on banqueting menu? As well. So in the Middle East and in Australia, yeah. And there's another version of a rump salad there with some target beetroot. You see what we call it, target beetroot? It looks like target. Yellow beets, mescaline, and a lemon dressing, right? So just a nice subtle lemon dressing to offset the wonderful lamb there. Yep. Legs, Rafa, you're taking the leg apart. I think it's quite a good time to cut to you, mate, and talk to us a bit about what you've done with the leg here, because you've done some wonderful stuff with the rump here. You want to just talk us through that?
Yeah, look, I think, as we learn a bit more about eating quality and we go back to the consumers and ask them and get them to do taste tests and things like that, is lamb rumps are eating just as good as a lamb short loin. But when we actually see what the value is against a carcass, we know a short loin's much more than a rump. But if we get back to simplicity and go, well, how does it eat? They probably should hold the same value. So we're starting to get a bit more value out of cuts out of the leg, because we typically, in a lot of markets, they go, what do you do with the leg? And they go, we roast it. Well, the challenge with lamb is how do we get more grilling cuts? Because especially here in this domestic market, we like to grill, and everyone loves cooking on fire and things like that. So we're starting to see, out of this consumer researching, rumps eating really well on a grill out of the same animal against the short loin, eats within a few points of each other. And then we're seeing things like the knuckle, which is that, and cut into little steaks. That's eating very similar to the rump. So I think as we get challenged around cost of goods and how to be more, create more value, we'll start to see a lot more markets looking at how to keep dishes on menus by looking at different cuts. So traditionally roasting, can we turn them into grills? And we've been working with different markets around getting them to understand that. And we're starting to get some really good, I suppose, experiences with that. And then my personal favourite is, I've got friends coming, and I've got some fussy friends as well. So I like to do a butterflied lamb leg. It's something that's fairly rustic, you butterfly it open. I'll quickly do one in a second, but it's just breaking up your leg, splitting it across, cross-grilling, charring, and then finishing off with the hood down. The beautiful thing about that is what we like, or what I like, is that it gives you this mixture of well done, medium, rare, and there's always a pain in the arse that wants something well done. There you go, you can have that over there. If there's someone that wants something medium, so it does this really beautiful job of being rustic, and it's really cost effective. And we're starting to see that starting to translate into food services.
100%. That's a nice way of putting it, Rafa. So, Chef Naglaa, what we're talking about here is when that's on the fire, maybe well done here, and as you go to the centre, we can make it medium rare, so everyone can enjoy the degree of
All Arabic eat lamb leg medium, not medium.
Medium, that's
yeah,
correct.
Yeah. For this thick grill, only black pepper and salt. Put it for grill charcoal.
Yes.
خلاص 5 minutes eat. Well,
The khalos means enough. That's it. Black pepper, salt, on the fire, cooked to medium. That's the way they enjoy our product, I think it's fantastic, And then serve with garlic and all your sides as well, depending on the grill.
No, not any spicy, for only black pepper and.
Okay, no problem. I've been told.
Get
So,
back in your box.
what else I suggest you do here today is that Rafa's really taken a lot of time. We've got 2 lambs on display here, so he's doing one a la minute in front of you here today. But he's really taken the time to look at value adding the product at the back. So he got in at 8 a.m. this morning and did another one. And we've got just some interesting things here, like lamb rumps on skewers, imitating the picanha with the beef, And then the way that we've got the Barnsley chop, which is famous in European markets, like a double midloin chop that's served with centre bone in the middle. And then, French racks, the top side, the knuckle into steaks. There's so much we can do with this wonderful product, right? And we learn this from all these different cuisines, and we take this back, and then we talk to chefs back home and across the 100 markets that MLA work in, on how that you can use these cuts to the best cut by cook method, if you like. Tomorrow, when you guys are on second day at conference, Rafa and I are at 7 a.m. at Murdoch University. And we've got 2 lambs out there, and we're actually cooking in combi ovens, right, which are the commercial ovens, which are universal. Combi oven like Rationale, chef, that you have a big oven with the steam, like at the back there. And what we're doing is we're looking at every different cut. It's going to be a massive day, right, on how we best cook them to MSA protocols. And that'll get documented in research, and then we'll utilise that with menu development across the globe with wonderful chefs like Naglaa. So we'll take their experience, we'll take our knowledge and science, and then we'll come together with best eating quality outcomes, to make sure that sheep meat shines for many years on menu. Because we have to use the whole of the carcass. We just don't have to use the rack all the time, So,
Sam?
Yes, chef.
Oh, Sam, we asked Chef what was her favourite cut, and I loved her response, and it was just everything. We love it all. So like for that, when we get into global markets, you know, that's the respect that we get for Australian lamb. So thank you for not just being fixated on, you know, racks of lambs. It's the whole of carcass and driving value from that. So thank you.
Round of applause. That you know, someone that used the whole of the carcass, you know, and you're right, Rafa. It's not only about midline and racks. These guys have been doing it for years. We're learning off them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Look,
Sincerely,
yeah.
you know, when I worked in the butchers in the 90s, a lot of it went to dog bones.
Absolutely.
Right? You know? And we've learnt from different cultures, these wonderful cultures that take your product in live export, on how we can be better chefs with our product. And I sincerely mean that. That's been the journey for me as a chef over the 30 years I've been cooking, showing my ages now, and 12 years I've been working with MLA. It's taking these dishes away and these methods away and working on your own touch, if you like, to bring it to your consumer.
Sam, just quickly, I suppose one thing we should never forget, that, and I personally think that lamb's one of the most exciting proteins in the world. I reckon when you look at the versatility of what we can do with lamb, it becomes really exciting. And so I don't think it's not just lamb. You know, as we go through the journey of eating quality and extracting further value, we're going to get forced to, keep upping the game. And, you know, Australia is well regarded for doing that. But, here's just an example of, how exciting lamb can be. So to our producers out there, you do an amazing job. We love representing and working with the product.
So Chef Uzi, talk to us about Uzi.
Yes, this lamb Uzi is for lamb leg, for basmati rice and lamb leg. Lamb leg also boil 1 hour. After 1 hour, I make for simza both the rice and vegetable, cut beans and onion and all vegetable, only like that, cut beans and the rice basmati and spicy. Spicy for this, all spicy and the black pepper and salt, only like that. This lamb tasty, very, very, very tasty for lamb. This is the soup for meat I make with the rice. I make together with the soup for meat. This is the rice.
So Chef, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a famous Iraqi dish, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a Syrian dish.
Assyrian?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that is the dish that Rafael was talking about. During COVID, when we were locked down in Sydney, I actually did a 10-series video in my backyard, and we got a whole bone and rolled leg of lamb, and I cooked it over the fire, over the coals. We rested it, cut it across the grain, and then served it with some cauliflower for turmeric kind of glaze there, and then some fresh pecorino cheese that's grated over the top, and a salad. So, that's the kind of dish. Why can't we have that at Christmas on our menus? We've adapted the turf and surf, we've adapted, we haven't. We've adapted the surf. Why can't we bring the turf to the menu? And sincerely, that's been my big push when I've been travelling around the country the last 3 weeks. I was with beef producers in Dalby 2 weeks ago. I said, why can't we do a surf and turf Christmas? We do it best Aussies on the grill. It's a nice summer way to enjoy it. Yeah, have the ham, but just make it a smaller ham. Get a leg of lamb on the barbie, or do a nice big tomahawk, and really celebrate our product. We're Australians, we love our red meat. Why can't it make a place on menu at Christmas time in those celebration occasions? Would you agree, Rafa?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are more, I suppose, excited about different cuts of meats. Like if we went back in the beef and said 10 years ago, let's put a beef brisket on a menu, everyone would laugh at you. Today, it's driving great value. And I think we're seeing more and more of that happen between beef and lamb. And I think it's an exciting space. I think people are, are curious about alternative cuts. And I think that chefs on TV, back of house in kitchens, are doing a great job of exploring with lamb. So it's
and there's
great.
another lamb leg take on the same sort of dish that I did for a studio shoot. Once again, I think that was with a zesty mint salsa verde, and then served with a panzanella salad, like a tomato salad on the side. Now the next one, how do we make lamb more accessible to all generations. We team up with Domino's Pizza, that's right. We team up with them and we create a pizza that can be served over the summer period where everyone's... So they backed on the back of our... That was 2 years in the making. I worked on Domino's with that. Signed the NDA, bunkered down. We looked at leg, different types of cuts. In order for us to get enough lamb without exhausting the market, they had to purchase that 6 months ago and then pre-cook it and then individually quick freeze it, you know, so it can be cooked a la minute under an impinja grill, which is those, if you've seen those pizzas, they go under, like on a conveyor underneath the fire, and then they come out crispy on the other end. And we did a kind of a Greek take on it with tzatziki on the top there, and there was also a lamb meat lovers pizza. So watch this space. That's all I can tell you. Watch this space. I have been working with other establishments in this area, and we've got some really exciting things coming up in the not too distant future with Australian lamb on menu in the QSR format. There's just another stir-fried lamb there that we worked on this one, Chef, with Donata Airlines. You know, using Donata, the airline Emirates, their Australian kitchen, on looking at leg in a stir-fry option there with rice on economy meals for airfares. So, yeah, we do work with Emirates in Australia for stir-fry, for leg, you know, for economy meals on planes.
Not for...
This is me. This is what I was cooking, but probably not Middle Eastern, but I'm just trying to show you the love comes both ways, okay? So when they get on the plane overseas, we also do Aussie dishes that go to the Middle East, yeah. So we learn from each other.
burger,
It's a good old lamb burger. You do them as well? Like
Arabic bread.
that one is pita, Greek burger. Yeah. So similar, but we did a lamb patty there with some tomato, Spanish onion, butter lettuce, and a tzatziki there for a customer. And there's another beautiful dish. I think this is your one. Can you walk us through this, Chef?
The makluba.
Yeah, makluba.
Yeah. This makluba for lamb shank, this makluba for vegetable, eggplant, and potato, and corn flour. I make makluba together for also one pot. All vegetable, fried vegetable. And this is the rice, mixed rice, and Egypt rice, and basmati rice. For spicy, all spice, and black pepper, and turmeric also, and black pepper, turmeric, all spice, okay, and this is the lamb for lamb shank, okay. I make boiling 1 hour. After I take the soup for the lamb, I make the rice, all rice and the vegetable. After the 20 minutes only, this is the vegetable already cooking. Also, and the rice 2 minutes water. I make for 20 minutes cooking. After make this makluba, yani I make
upside down. She turns the pot upside down, and the rice is at the top, and then you got the wonderful lamb that goes through that.
all vegetable make
Vegetable.
for one dish. Yes.
You've got some cashews there as well.
Makluba for lamb shank.
Finally, the last dish, and we'll wrap up on this. Chef, talk to us through this one.
This is the mansaf, Jordanian mansaf. So, like too much people for Jordan and Egypt and Syrian, Kulu, like for this the Jordanian mansaf for lamb shank. Also for lamb shank. This is the lamb mansaf for Egypt rice, all Egypt rice and nuts. No have spicy. Only jamid. Jamid yogurt, dry yogurt. I make for
Fermented. Yep.
I make for water before 1 day. After I make for boiling for meat. Gamid, all cooking for meat. I give gamid, I put it for meat. 2 hours, finish. I make the rice separate, but in the presentation like that. No have spicy.
And there is the celebrity chef that wraps it up. You know,
This is the gamid.
Chef, thank you very much. Look,
Thank you, sir.
it is a huge, amazing. To come to the other side of the world where English is not your first language, and to go through those menu terms is truly astonishing. You're passionate. We love people like you. You know, we learn from you, and thank you for supporting our wonderful product.
Thank you.
Any last words on lamb? You love it?
Yes.
She's a convert, and we're going to keep on doing it. We're going to get more converts. I sound like Donald Trump here. We're going to get more converts, and we're going to enjoy and share the lamb through all the cultures around the world. Big shout out to Rafael Butcher. A round of applause, please. Extend it for Naglaa. Chef Naglaa, a round of applause. And I'm Chef Sam Burke. Have a Merry Christmas, and thank you for allowing us to present here at the LiveX conference. We'll see you at lunchtime. Thank you.
Thank you, Raf, Naglaa, and Sam. That's a really good presentation. I think it was very exciting. The other thing we need to do, can you just give a big shout out to LSS Hillside Meats who provided the carcass for the dish. So well done. Thanks for that. Thanks, mate.